Welcome back, everyone. So I'm super excited because I love making these. Today I'm going to show you how to make a domino pendant. And this actually will come, in the comments below, there will be links where you can get either a Halloween set here, or you can get a holiday Christmas set. And there will be a link for you to download these, like I said, in the comments below. And then I will have links where you can find everything, including the dominoes. So let me get started here. I am just going to cut out one of the images here. I really love the high contrast images because they show up really, really nice on the domino. So don't worry if you don't cut this out perfect. You can have some white along the edges because you're going to be sanding off all of the excess anyways. And you can see that this is bigger than the domino itself, right? So you can kind of choose where you want to place each image. A really important product to use here is a gel. So I've got this on my website at janebelanteart.com. Or you can get it at any hobby store. You can get it on Amazon. But it's important to use a fine art product here if you want these to last. So you can use a liquid medium to decoupage these on, but it's going to be much harder because that liquid medium dries really super fast, and you have just a little bit more open time with the soft gel, and it's also just going to really, really grip to it. So I'm just going to put a nice layer on here. Again, you can find this on my website. There'll be a link in the comments as usual. But you can get these downloads. And these make amazing gifts. They're so much fun. If you're having a Halloween party with the girls or going out, everybody could have a necklace. These make really, really great gifts for Christmas. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gently patting it down. You know, the gel is pretty thick, so the ability to move the paper around is pretty easy. When I turn it over, I don't want it to be lopsided. I want it to be pretty good. And I just want to make sure that Santa's hat is on there. I don't mind his feet not being on there. And then I'm just going to set this aside to dry. And let me just grab another one, and we'll do a Halloween one too. And let me see which one I'm going to cut out. The images are all so much fun. Oops. Might do this one. Trim a little bit of that off. But again, you don't have to trim it because we're going to be sanding off the edge anyways. So sanding or cutting, you can use your scissors. And this I'm going to take right there. Oh, maybe not. I'm going to have to cut her hat off a little bit because I want the trick or treat to show, and part of the pumpkin. But that'll be fine. You can see there how I'm just kind of eyeing it up, making sure it's straight on the back. Okay, now what you need to do is let these dry. It does not take that long, maybe 15 minutes, and then we're going to trim them. Okay, so these are dry, or almost dry. It took about 15 minutes. There's a little overflow right there, but these are ready to go. So what you can do is you can either take a sanding block, and I prefer the sanding block because you get really crisp, clean edges this way. But if you don't have a sanding block, it's no big deal. You can just use a scissors and trim underneath. So turn it around to trim it. But I like the sanding block. It's just a neater edge. gonna do the same thing on this one. All right, next step, and this is important. You've got to seal the top with that soft gel as well, because we're about to use some Diamond Glaze, which is a form of a resin, but it will lift the color off of your domino pendants if you don't seal them. So another thing to let you know is that they work best when you print them from a laser printer. If you don't have a laser printer, you can do one of two things. I have heard, and I'm not attesting to this because I've never done it before, but I have heard that when you print an inkjet print, that you can spray it with hairspray to set the ink before you go in decoupage with it. Another thing you can do is email the file to Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, one of those places, and have them print for you. It's really inexpensive to do a laser print. So you can do one of two things. So now those are sealed, and I'm just going to dry that with my heat gun, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm about to use this Judykins Diamond Glaze. There is a link for this in the comments below. I am using just a wood box here. I'm going to put this on in case any of this resin, the Diamond Glaze, drips over. And then you need to let these sit on something flat, which is why I put them on the box, for 8 to 10 hours. A lot of times I just leave them overnight and then come the next morning. Okay, let's grab this Diamond Glaze here. Open it up. It's important not to shake it, okay? Just let it pour out. See how gently I'm kind of tilting the bottle. I'm going to give it a little bit of a squeeze, and out it comes. Now, you want to do a nice thin layer on these, so this might take a little bit of practice on your part. And if you're very careful, it won't run over the side. If it does, you can get that off after it's dried, no problem. So you see here, I'm using the tip to just kind of make sure that it spreads all the way to the edge of the domino. It has a tendency to grip back to itself, right? So that's why it doesn't necessarily run over the side. And again, it takes a little bit of practice, okay? So I don't know if you can see there, but there's a nice big bubble. I just popped it with the top or the tip of the bottle, but if that happens, and sometimes it happens during the drying process too, you can take a needle and just poke it. And sometimes the bubbles are really, really little, and so that needle is very effective. Just making sure I have this all the way around the edge. And I'm not even pressing, I'm not even squeezing the bottle right now to have any more come out. I'm just using the bottle to move this Diamond Glaze, this resin, to the edge. Okay. And once you know how to do these, I mean, they're so much fun. You can do them for every holiday. If you have a booth space, you can make them and sell them in your booth. I usually sell mine for $22. That covers the cost of everything. So again, just take your time, squeezing it gently. They have different sizes of this Diamond Glaze. You can actually get, I think it's a 2-ounce size. So if you're just thinking about making a few of these, you can get the 2-ounce size. I do think there's a bottle even bigger than this one. See here, I was kind of messing around and I've got a bunch of bubbles. So I'm just gonna pop as many as I can with the bottle top. And they don't all pop sometimes, so, which is fine because I have my needle right next to me. I'm just gonna pull this to the edge. That worked. I see one's right here. If your bottle top doesn't pop them, or if you come back during the drying process and you're seeing bubbles, if it's already starting to solidify, you can't pop the bubble out because it will leave a hole. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now that is really it. So I'm going to leave these to dry for like 8 to 10 hours, and then I'll come back and show you how to finish it, and we're done. It's so simple. So I'll be back as soon as these are dry, and we will go from there. All right, so these are done, and they are really, really great. Of course, Max is hopping up here now. But they look, I mean, I don't know if you've ever used regular resin, but it's kind of, hi, Max. It's a little bit more difficult to use because you have to mix it, you have to use it within a certain amount of time. And this Diamond Glaze is so easy to use, and it has a really, really beautiful finish to it. So all I'm going to do now is glue on a bale. I'm going to glue on my cat. Okay, come on. Okay, literally. Okay, so I'm going to use the Eileen's Tacky Glue. I would not use hot glue for these bales because they don't stay. You can use E6000 too. Any just really good glue. I like the Tacky Glue. I like the E6000. So even though this looks white, it's still going to dry transparent. So I just got a little bit too much on there. And then you just take it and put it on the back of your domino. And you can see I put too much on because it's seeping out. No big deal. Just take a brush and brush it away. And then just make sure it's centered on the front before you let it dry. So you sit and let that dry. And then you'll just put it on a chain, and that's it. You're done. It's so easy. The only thing that takes long is the drying time, right? You have to let these dry for a number of hours so that they come out looking beautiful. But I'll just let these bales dry, and then I put them on a number of different chains, but the one I use the most is just this leather cord. I'll put a link for this in the comments below, but you can use whatever chain you want. And, you know, you could bead these, you can do anything. They're so much fun and so easy to do. So thank you so much for being here. Be sure to visit me at janebelanteart.com, and I will see you on Friday for a new video. Thanks so much.